Microsoft Excel is the best way to learn programming because Excel includes a programming language called Visual Basic for Applications, which we also call VBA. And with VBA, you can have Excel record what you enter in Excel using macros, and Excel automatically creates the code for you, which you can change. For example, with recording, when you record yourself entering data into cells, and then you create a chart, Excel creates the code for you. And there's no better way to learn programming. And by the end of this comprehensive course, you will learn how to code. And what you learn in this course is an incredible introduction to programming, as the concepts I teach you can apply to any programming language you want to learn. Now, the problem with the way that programming is taught is that it's so boring and confusing and intimidating. In this course, I'm going to use a massive number of fun props like these and many, many more. I also created easy and fun exercises for us to do together in order to learn how to code and how to thoroughly enjoy coding and object-oriented programming from scratch, even if you have no experience at all with programming. Now, Excel is the #1 tool on the planet for financial modeling, accounting, data analysis, and so much more. It dominates Wall Street. It dominates venture capital. It dominates large corporations all over the world, and it dominates in many industries. In fact, Microsoft has sold more than 1 billion copies of Excel. And your chances of taking your career or personal finances or startup to the next level increases big time if you understand how to program and use the many features of Microsoft Excel. Now, most people that use Excel only use 5% or so of the features that it offers. I'm going to teach you everything about Excel and programming in Excel in this course. So why should you learn Excel and programming from me? Humbly, because I've been using Excel for more than 30 years. Yes, I am that old. And I've been programming in Excel since literally last century. I even programmed a lot in my years at Accenture in the 1990s. And for many years, actually, last century and this century, I helped Microsoft beta test their applications as I was part of the Microsoft Developer Network, where I beta tested pre-release versions of Excel and many, many other products. They used to send me all of these here. And so here's the many beta products that they sent me in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Programming has always been my favorite hobby. Now, I've even met with Bill Gates a few times over the years at Microsoft's headquarters, and I sat next to him actually at lunch. And I still have the badge here for the hedge fund conference when I worked at a company called Kingdon, great hedge fund. I still have the badge here for that conference when I went to meet with Bill for the first time. Okay, enough geeking out by me. But I've been programming in Visual Basic since 1994. Yes, before many of you were born. And I don't throw anything out. And I even have this exact same database product here. This is the book I learned from years ago. I have this database product here in Visual Basic for applications, and the Visual Basic standalone application still here in my house. And what I did years ago, back in the late 90s, was I led the development team on setting up an offshore bank for the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce in the 1990s. And so programming, accessing a database like this, Access here, is like using Excel and Visual Basic. And I use Excel on my Mac here as well, right over here, back in the 1980s as well. And this is the most comprehensive course I've ever made. And I humbly believe there is nobody with more hands-on experience and finance experience and Excel experience in the world that will teach you more better than I can, humbly. All right, let me just clean this up here and let's talk about how to take this comprehensive course. All right, so attached to this lecture is an Excel document called the Complete Excel Dashboard, which works on a Mac and on Windows desktop or laptop computers. Here it is right here. This is the Windows version, and this over here is the Mac version. They look very, very similar. It's the same document. Please do not open the spreadsheet within a browser, though. Meaning, I want you to please download and then open it with Excel on a Mac or on Windows, but not on an iPad. And you can download this spreadsheet here from this current lecture. And please don't have any other spreadsheets open for this entire course except for this one. And I recommend closing all other applications except your browser when doing this course. I also recommend using a version of Excel created in the past couple of years, please. Now, when you open the file, you will be asked to enable macros, which is what we use to code. You don't have to enable macros, though, until section 5 of the course. And if you're asked to trust this document, please select yes. Thank you. Now, once you have the spreadsheet open, please select a track right here, okay? Meaning how you want to take this course. Now, there's 4 tracks right here, as you can see, depending on how much you want to learn. And I did this in order to make this course accessible to the largest total addressable market possible. We always want to access a massive TAM. Now, if we click here on the beginner track, okay, then the stars up here show you what sections to watch. And if I scroll down here a little bit, you could see all of the lectures and exercises and videos you're supposed to do, the ones with the stars beside them, okay? So this is the beginner track here, okay? And you can always click on these links here to jump directly to the exercise if you want to. All right, now I'm going to select the all lessons and exercises track, the A track right here, okay, because I got to teach all these lectures. And I recommend taking the all track, which includes all lectures and all sections up here if you're brand new or relatively new to Excel. Or if you just want to learn the advanced stuff on how to program, then click here to take just the Genius track, and it skips some of the more basic concepts as well. Now, again, there's 4 tracks. The beginner track here assumes you have no or very little experience with Excel. Again, if I click beginner, I see all the stars up here showing me what sections are applicable to you. And I'll always tell you when to click on an exercise or go to a certain location in this very comprehensive spreadsheet that I had so much fun making. Now, if I click here on the intermediate track right here, then you can see the sections that are applicable to you. And if you scroll down, the lectures you're supposed to take with the stars beside them. If I pick the Genius track right here, you see which lectures and sections are applicable to you. And again, you can scroll down to see which ones you're supposed to watch here. But I'm going to choose here the A track, and I hope all of you do that as well, the all lessons and exercises track. Now, at the start of all videos, what you're going to see is the letter, and I'll show you down here, the letter B or I or G or A, okay? And that represents these letters up here. For example, if you see this at the beginning of a lecture, when you click there within where you're watching the course, then that means that everybody should watch this, meaning beginner, intermediate, genius, and the all track students, okay? If you see G comma A beside a lesson, I'll go down here, God, there's so much here. Down here, if you see G and A, G/A, I should say, before a lecture, then only the Genius track and the all track students should watch that lecture. Now, if you see any errors in this spreadsheet, it means that you're using a version of Excel that is way too old, meaning much older than a couple of years. Of course, this spreadsheet only works in Excel, again, on a desktop or on a laptop, and it will not work in Google Sheets or LibreOffice or any other non-Excel application. Okay, now, again, if you scroll down here on the first tab, you'll see all the lectures that I recommend that you take based on the track selection, meaning the lectures with the stars beside them. And if you click on any of these lectures here, it will take you to the exact spot in the lecture where we discuss that topic. I will always tell you when to click on all links in this spreadsheet during the mini course videos. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom here, we see here the next step. Let me just scroll down a bit more. Okay, sorry about that. All right, scroll all and only have one application open, please. I've got Windows open and Mac and all that stuff. Yeah. But if we scroll down here, we see what the next step is. And we can always click here to go to the next step, or we can click an icon on the left side here to jump to the top of a spreadsheet. And I've also included tons of icons on the side here that will take you to other exercises, etc. Again, I'll tell you exactly when to click all this stuff. We're going to do all these exercises together. It's going to be a blast. Okay. Now, after you finish the lectures and exercises associated with a certain tab, okay, then what I'd like you to do, please, is to click right here, this checkbox here in B9, okay, to update your progress. So please do that right now. And you can see our progress is updated by 1%. There's a lot to this course. And as you can see here, I created a custom ribbon for you across the top here in rows 1 through 11, okay? And what you can do if you want is you can minimize this ribbon that I created for you by clicking here on number 1 so that you have more real estate to do the exercises on a given tab. Okay, let me click number 2 though to open this back up again. Okay, and I'll explain how I made this entire spreadsheet from scratch in the mini lectures in this program. Now, there's a bunch of lectures that you won't see in your curriculum there. They're actually YouTube lectures or videos on my website when you click certain items here. And I'll tell you exactly when to click those items if you want to. All right, now on the custom menu that I created, as you can see right here, I created 12 icons, 12 right here, representing the 12 tabs in this spreadsheet. And as you can see at the top here, these 12 icons here are grouped into 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 parts, meaning the 6 sections of the course, which I'll quickly discuss right now. Okay, so we're currently in section 1 right here. Okay, and this is the course overview, quick reference, and resources section in these 4 icons here. And we're currently on the first right here of 12 tabs called the course intro, pick a track right here. In section 1.2 right here, if I click it, we discuss security and settings and how to enable the developer tab you see right up here, okay? And we're gonna use this in section number 5. There's no need to add the developer tab right now, please, until section number 5. All right, let me collapse this, this ribbon up here to give us more real estate. I'm just gonna double click right there, good. All right, moving on to section 1.3 right here, if I click it, we have a comprehensive set of clickable help videos for every single icon that exists in Excel, okay? I also teach you about spreadsheet design in terms of color palettes, font selection, and so much more, and user-defined interface examples. Okay, let me scroll down here a bit more to show you a bit more down what's going on here. Well, here we go. Okay, cool. All right, so spreadsheet design can be more important than the data in your spreadsheet. And it can give the user of your spreadsheet an incredible first impression on the quality of your work so you can run circles around the competition. Let's go to the top right here now, okay? If I click here on the interface, right down here, okay? Here we go, user interface, okay? I explain how to make the best user interfaces on the planet, okay? And the medium is quite often more important than the message. And just like Maya Angelou once said, people might not remember what you said, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. And I want you to elicit an emotion from your boss or customers, etc., when they see your masterpiece of a spreadsheet. And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. You are an artist, and Excel is your palette. Okay, let's go back to the top over here. Cool. If we click here on downloads, right here, these are templates and documents we will use to learn more about Excel. And some of you might recognize some of these downloads from the MBA degree program as well. Moving on to part 2 right here called Foundations. I'm going to click this icon here, Foundations. Okay. So what we have here is a section called Foundations. I've broken it up into 2 different parts. Okay. And you're going to learn the basics of Excel on this tab here. And just the beginner, intermediate, and all track will take this. Okay, so this is called Foundations. We're going to learn the basics of Excel right here. In terms of part 3, okay, it's called Define Names and Formulas. If I click on the Formulas icon right here, okay, we see many of the formulas that we're going to, or pardon me, the formulas right here. We're going to see many of the formulas that we're going to cover, including how to use formulas when programming as well, for those on the Genius or the All track. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with basic formulas, okay, right here. And I'm going to teach you from scratch how to create formulas. I color-coded everything as well. I had a lot of fun geeking out and making this. And you'll notice that I show the icons we use on the graphics right up here. You see here? So right here, these are all the icons that you're going to use for this exercise here. And I gray out the stuff we're not currently using. So we have horse blinders on so I can really focus on teaching what's important one step at a time. Okay, next up in step 4, we do charts, pivot tables, dashboards, reports, and programming. Okay, so I'll click here on charts. All right, so here we do charts. I do basic charts, intermediate, and advanced charts as well. And then right here, we do what are called pivot tables, which are a lot of fun. Okay, and then if we scroll down here, you'll see that I used a lot of really cool data to make pivot tables, okay, from the Forbes billionaire list, as well as GDP data that I got from the World Bank, and the S&P 500 stock market data as well. Let me click on that right here. Okay. All right, so this is just some of the data we're going to be using. I'll teach you how to make great tables, pivot tables, all that great stuff, dashboards as well, of course. Okay, let me click here to go back to the top. Okay. So next up, if we move on here to 4.3, okay, this here is the dashboards tab, okay? And right here, we're going to discuss creating dashboards and reports. I had so much fun making this section as well. This data will work here if you click it here. Here's Evan Spiegel, the billionaire founder of Snapchat. Up here is Kaspersky, who made a software program I don't think anybody should use. Okay, sorry, moving on. All right, in terms of part 5, and let me just scroll up here to go to the top, or I'll click right here. Okay, here we go. Part 5. All right, this is a massive section. This is the most comprehensive section by far, where we discuss programming and macros and Visual Basic for applications. Okay. And here in part 5, as with all parts, you can click on any of these blue and white icons right here to take you anywhere you want to go on this tab. Okay. Takes you to any lesson. And of course, part 5 is the most comprehensive part of this entire program. Let me switch to the Mac version for fun for a while now. Right here. Okay. But remember, I got to select a track first, right here, and we finished that one there. Okay, good. So part 5 is the most important and by far the longest part of this entire course, as I use a lot of props, as you can see right here, to explain coding from scratch. Okay, and a lot of this stuff is going to be foreign to you, but it's going to be a lot of fun, because coding is like being a chef. Coding is like being a chef, okay? It's like being a chef and making an incredible meal, okay? And you'll find out soon why I refer to these as subs, meaning subroutines, and functions, and so much more as well. These are bugs right here. And my son Dylan gets these when we're done with this. Okay. All right. So lastly, in part 6 right here, I'll click on other topics. Okay. In part 6, we have other topics, meaning topics not discussed in sections 1 through 5 here. Okay. And here in part 6, we see a 1-question SurveyMonkey survey. Okay. And after you complete the course, meaning sections 1 to 5, I want you to complete this survey here to tell me. If you click on it, it just opens up in a browser here. I think I turned internet off here, but you get the idea. It opens up in a browser. And what you can do is you can enter a 1-question survey to tell me what to add to this course. Okay. And my intention is to make this section 6 here the longest part of the entire course, the longest section. Okay. Let's go back to the first tab now, right here. Okay. Now, if you scroll to the right on the tabs and you click over here, you'll see a video on how I made this lecture here. Let me actually go and turn on the interwebs so I can click to that. Yeah. So you can click here to see a video on how I made this tab. Okay. And I included this same square here on every single tab. So I teach you how to do and create every single tab from scratch. So if we click that, this is a video here. It teaches you how I made section 1.1 tab. Okay. And when you click on these videos that appear on YouTube, they're not in the curriculum. Okay, I'll always tell you when to click stuff though, as always. Okay, great. Also, if you want to change any of the tabs by using your own color variants or sans serif fonts or other interfaces, if you select them on the help menu, then the codes appear right here, okay, in a lot more detail. And I'll cover that in a lot more detail in the help video lessons in 1.3 right here. Okay. Also, you will notice here in cell J9 on every single tab right here, okay? In cell J9 on every tab, I've added a quick 1-line code snippet, okay? It's pretty long here. a quick one-line code snippet that you can use when coding in section 5. So here's an example. Let me pick, I don't know, how to clear a cell. Okay, and it appears right here. And that's code you can enter in a Visual Basic, meaning when we create macros. And the purpose of sections 1 through 4 is to not only thoroughly teach you Excel, but more importantly, to help you prepare to program in part 5 of the course right here. Quick note, if you previously enabled the developer tab before watching this video for whatever reason, okay, you might see icons here like ticker, a lookup, get stock data for chart, and all that stuff. I want you to please ignore these and don't click on them until I explain how to add these custom code snippets and icons to your menu. You may or may not see these. Okay, again, you don't have to enable macros at all. Okay, let me go back to the home menu. You don't have to enable macros at all on this worksheet until you open it and you're doing section number 5. And I'll tell you exactly how and when as always. Okay, so let's now go to B9 again, right here, if you haven't already done so. Okay, and make sure that you've clicked this right here so that we are now done with this first lecture, which is 1.1. And depending on which of the 4 tracks right here that you select, your percent number is going to be a little bit different, okay? Now, the most comprehensive one is obviously the all track, but if you're on a beginner track or a different track, as you progress through here and you click these, the number's going to look different. This didn't even move the needle because the all track is so darn long. Okay, great. I'm excited. Let's do this.